Hello everyone. Today we're gonna go through a breakdown of how I edited this image which I've recently posted, and I'm not gonna show you the exact steps what I'm gonna do because that's gonna take a very long time. I'm just gonna go through the layers and I'm gonna explain what each layer does. So let's start right into it. Okay, so before jumping into the layers, what I have done is that the way I showed the image, so this image is actually composed of 4 images, 3 images for focus stacking, one at this area, second one somewhere around here, and the third one is the background, and one layer for the sky. It was a very bright sky, so I had to go, if I remember quite well, it was -4 exposure or -5, I can't remember, but the sky was very bright. You know, the sun was directly behind the mountains. So it's really important that you establish sort of the final product of what you shoot in your imagination while shooting. So while I was shooting the image, I was already visualizing how I'm gonna edit it and how the final image is gonna look like. You know, at least, you know, I have an idea what I am planning to do. So when I was shooting the image, what I realized that these areas were just too bright, so I had to darken them. I wanted to really enhance the light here and make it, you know, have light coming over these rocks, and it's gonna give me some directionality into my image, and what that's gonna do, it's gonna lead your eyes towards the light source. Okay, by doing all that, what I'm gonna finally have is the light, if your eyes is gradually going on the image and ending up here. Remember that the eyes always tends to follow the brightest part, which is this part. If I'm gonna keep those areas light as well, I'm gonna have my eyes scattered all around the image without having a direction to the light source. So this was my rationale behind, so this was my planning when I was shooting the image, and that was exactly what I was planning to do when I started my post-processing. So I've already done all the focus stacking and the exposure blending of the sky. As you can see, I did not really darken the sky because it wouldn't be realistic. You know, I'm having this very bright spots in my image, so it's just natural that the sky is going to be bright as well. It's not going to be too dark. Okay, so I tended to start with small color correction into my image. I used a color balanced layer here. Okay, just playing around with sliders, and see what really suits the image. Then I used a selective color. I think the reds were the dominant colors that I had to really change. Okay, I added more cyan and blue to the mountains, to the front of the mountain. Okay, I'm not sure what this layer did. Okay, this layer is dodge and burn layer, and what I did is that I used the dodge and burn tool just right here, and I was adding it to the layers within the image. So this is my first layer, this is the mountain behind is my second layer, third layer, fourth layer, I'm having a layer here, I'm having a layer around here, a layer around here. So by just darkening the edges, you're creating more separation within these layers. So this is before and this is after. As you can see, just really darkening these edges just to give more separation for the image. Then I went just did small darkening by using a curves layer with a layer mask just around that areas. And the other thing I did was that I darkened the image a little bit by choosing the midtones, by using Tony Kuiper midtone 2, and I just really darkened those midtones a little bit. And then I did an overall, just a slight adjustment to the image. So at this place I just really kind of brightened this part of the sky, and from this point forward what I did was just playing around with the light, you know. So the first thing I did was that I enhanced this light that is, you know, coming from behind the mountains, and it's falling all over this place. And it's just, you know, an overlay image, and by just selecting that place with a quick selection tool and just painting around. But you have to be careful when you paint, because you have to put into consideration your black points. So the layers which are further away has to be, you know, more washed out, has to have, you know, more effect than those layers that are closer to you. Okay, so for this layer what I've done is that I've created a hard light layer just to enhance that light that's coming behind the mountains and make it kind of spill, you know, around the peak towards this place where I'm going. But you have to put into consideration that you have to really mask out these peaks. You know, they should not have the same effect. So as you can see, this is my mask, and this is how it would have been without the mask, with the mask and without the mask. This is just you know, it really is taking away the peaks, the shape of the peak, and doesn't look very realistic. You know, the light can't just penetrate through the peaks, so you have to mask out that area. And with this point, I'm really just you know, accentuating the light around my light source. I've already made a video on that, so you can check out how I do that. It's actually, I do an example of the same peak actually. So then I merged all the layers, and I have taken the image into luminar form. What I have done is that I played around with split toning. So I added highlights, color to my highlights, a yellow orangish color, and I added some blue to my shadows. I darkened the image a little bit. I played around with the contrast. That was pretty much what I've done. The question is, do I have to use Luminar 4? And my answer is no. The reason why I use it is because it, you know, it saves time. I think that's the main reason why I use Luminar 4. It's a very powerful plugin. It really saves your time, and the changes that you make inside are very subtle, more balanced adjustments than Camera Raw. It's a personal preference. You should really try it out before deciding whether you want to buy it or no. But unless you try it out, and I think you're gonna get what I mean. You have to use it so you really get what I mean. This layer, I again darkened the midtones because I added because I just felt that the overall image needs to be darkened a little bit. Okay, so this, I think what really makes, what really makes the image pop out and gives it that 3D look, three-dimensional look. So this is a soft light layer. Basically what I do is I choose a color from the sky and I paint around the places where I want to have the light on. And in the same layer, what I'm doing is that I am darkening the sides which are not getting those light. And what this really does is it gives you sort of dimensionality to your image. It makes it like, so from a flat image to a more present image, more live image. So, you know, I keep one layer at one brush color at the sky color, and the second one is close to this point, for example, orange brownish color, you know, and I just keep painting and really switching between the two colors. And I use a Wacom tablet, so I control my brush and my painting. So this is exactly what I've done, and you can see that it made the image just very different. You know, the light's coming here, it has to spill on this tree, a little bit on this tree, you know, it has to on these rocks, on these areas, but it should not fall into these areas. And again, the same thing. I made another layer just to really enhance that effect. The last few layers is just darkening the sky a little bit, gives it more color. And this is adding some blues to the shadows. So you can see this is blue. I'm just taking the shadows up, the blues in the shadows a little bit up. And this is using camera raw, just adding some graduated filters there and there, changing the split toning. I can't remember if I used camera raw or luminar for, but you can see what I've done, just enhancing the light a little bit, the colors. And this I added a sharpening to the image by using Nik collection software. So this is before and this is after. You can see it's the sharpening is really nice with Nik software. And this layer, what I've done the exact same thing I've done on these rocks, you know, painting them. I've done it on the sky just to give it more 3D look, you know. And I did my logo, and final thing is that I felt the image was too dark, so I added some light into the midtones. And finally added some blues in the shadows by using a dark 2 in TK action. And that's it. You know, I started the image from this and it turned into this. I do hope that this helped you to figure out, you know, a good workflow that you can follow. But remember that you have to spend some time before starting to edit your image. What is my plan? What correction does the image need? What colors I'm gonna use in my image, how I'm gonna lead the viewer's eye into my image, how I am going to, you know, play around with the light. So really answering these questions is gonna give you clear steps to follow, and second, it's not gonna complicate things for you, and third is that you're not gonna over process your image. One of the mistakes that I used to do before planning my edit is I think I was just really over processing my images. I was overcomplicating things, you know. I had maybe 30 to 40 unnecessary layers, but now, you know, have to really plan ahead. Okay, so thank you guys for tuning in. I kindly do subscribe to my channel. It's gonna really help me a lot. Thank you.